right, hey all, what's up? It's Video Rot episode 37. If you guys are new here, remember you can catch us live every week, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time. And if you can't, no big deal. An abridged version of the show will go up the following Tuesday on YouTube and all that good stuff. We usually pick a topic, it could be whatever, talk about a favorite filmmaker. We'll do a tier list about something movie related. Talk about something nostalgia. A couple weeks ago, we talked about arcade memories. One thing I didn't bring up on the arcade memories episode, though, was the ritual of when you were playing and it was a busy arcade. Whoever the way, do you remember how people would call next game?
They put the quarter up there in the.
You put the quarter. You put the quarter. You saw that guy put that quarter. Like, oh, this hot shit. Yeah.
That's when you knew you were gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why I didn't bring that up because I always think about that. So stuff like that. Last week we did a review and tier list of all the tracks on the new Metallica record, and today Todd had the idea to talk about movies that we grew to love or like or whatever. Maybe you didn't like them so much when you were a kid, and he presented this idea to me with the prospect that next week we'll do it backwards: movies we liked, and then maybe grew to not like so much. That one's going to be a lot easier for me.
It's totally reversed for me. It's totally reversed because I would say the other way around is going to be more difficult for me.
Who knows? We'll see. I mean, I might think it's easy thinking about it, but I might come to the same wall. But it'll be interesting because Todd apparently has a stack of stuff. But Blocko in the chat saying he just saw Beau Was Afraid. He thought it was excellent. It scares me. It looks like I said, it can go either way for me. So, I mean, I'll definitely check it out. I love Joaquin. And I like Ari Aster's first two flicks. Well, I loved Hereditary. I kind of liked Midsommar.
I'm in the same boat as you.
Right. Yeah. Some people love Midsommar like to death. I don't know, man. I'd rather just watch The Wicker Man. I don't.
Yeah. Which I love. The original Wicker Man was great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We usually like to just shoot the breeze for a bit first, right? We keep it casual up here in the Rev House, and we talk about what's new. Movies, like we said, talk about Beau Was Afraid. Sometimes we talk about stuff we've acquired, right? Whether it be a new movie or something, or a new poster in Todd's case, or he's wearing, it looks like he's wearing a new t-shirt. Is that a Suspiria shirt? Is that new?
I've had this for months. I just haven't worn it on this.
Yeah, where do you buy your cotton at? Where do you get your stuff, your rags, man?
I got a bunch at, it's called like Adam Age or something like that. I don't know. It's some no-name company that I found on. I mean, they've been around for a long time, but I've never. Well, they're not one of the big, like.
I always see shirts that I'd love to get that look cool online, but you can't roll the dice. But I don't want to roll the dice because they don't tell you what the material are all the time. I don't know who's making the shirt, and I don't know if I'm going to get like the old phrase box T-shirts, the old the box style.
Yeah.
That's just people are moving away from those now, but like I can't do them. Like, for example, like we were talking about Metallica earlier, but even as early as like a year and a half ago, I actually bought a t-shirt off the Metallica website, right? A baseball tee is cool, but it's the old box style. And I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks or whatever. It's not. And they like announced in the past year, the whole store is getting a revamp. Like all the designs are the same, but we're going to all like the light cotton now. That's more trending. The stuff that looks better in the waist and fits better on your arms. They literally call it like we're getting rid of the box tees. And I don't know why box tees were ever a thing. They're
popular in the 90s. Yeah.
God, they're terrible. They're terrible.
They're so uncomfortable.
So I wish more of these companies would be more transparent about what I'm getting, because it's not easy to return the stuff. You have to go through a whole rigmarole. You have to get a return confirmation. You got to actually probably take it to the post office. I'm spoiled by Amazon's easy way of living, basically. So. But yeah, what do you want to show off besides your t-shirt?
Yeah, if you want to do that. I kind of wanted to see, did you didn't see the new Evil Dead yet?
No, I haven't seen. Oh yeah, let's talk about movies if you want. I didn't see the new Evil Dead yet, but it's kind of about what I expected as far as to see.
You're kind of clipping. Move your cord. Or is it on my end? I don't know. In the chat, can you hear Aaron? Does it sound okay? Yeah, I think it's one of your. I want to say it's your cord. Let me check the stream real quick.
Aaron cut out. No, they're saying I cut out. Okay. Well, fuck. Oh, well, how do I sound now? Do I sound okay? Because I didn't notice I just cut out.
Right there. It sounds good.
Right here?
Yeah, right there.
Good?
Yep.
I'm not going to touch anything anymore.
Yeah, don't touch anything.
If you see me go for this shit, stop me.
You sound crisp now.
All right. Okay, so I'll try to keep that in check. But what were we talking about? Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, man.
It's Evil Dead.
I just need a new wire, Blocko, and I know the culprit too, and I hate it because I hate having such a setup because it's usually just down to like one component's fucked up, and you got to find out where in that daisy chain there's a messed up cord. And I always thought it was my USB-C cable in my audio interface, but you're saying that when I move this stuff, so maybe it's an XLR that's out of whack. I don't know, man, but I got some work I got to do with that. But what were we talking about?
Seeing Evil Dead.
Yeah, the reviews are pretty much par for what I thought I was going to see. You have a mix. You have some people say, oh, it's amazing. It's so great. It's so gory. Great time. You have a lot of people saying it's my least favorite in the franchise, but it's still fucking awesome. And you have a lot of people that are saying exactly what I thought it looked like. It just looks like a generic possession movie. They slapped Evil Dead on and threw the Necronomicon in to make it work. So I don't really know what to think because I'm seeing every possible variation of what I was expecting. So
I'm also hearing they give away everything in the trailer. So I don't know.
What, the mom gets possessed? I mean, what else is there to know?
No, all the gore and stuff.
Oh, as far as that,
yeah.
I don't know. Some people were alluding that it had a pretty big third act with a nice twist and a bunch of gore. I don't know. I'm going to go into that movie when I see it. I'm not going to go to the theaters to see it. I've already decided. I mean, it had a good first week. It couldn't beat the Mario movie, but that you can't expect to topple a kids movie. But it outperformed its projections, right? I think it did like upper 20s, 27, good, 28. Yeah. And which, by the way, give me 2 seconds. Talk about your thoughts on the Evil Dead movie. I'll be back in 5 seconds, everybody.
Yep. My thoughts on the Evil Dead, which I haven't seen yet, but I don't know. I was kind of tempted maybe on Friday or Saturday night, sneaking away for a few hours and going to see it. Just because I don't know. I could wait, but some people are saying you have to see it in the theater. So once they tell me that, I'm like, maybe I will see it in the theater. And by this weekend, I mean, I'm sure there's not a whole lot of people going to be in the theater either. So we'll see what happens there. But I do really want to see it. Try not to get too much spoilers when I watch some of these reviews. But Evil Dead came out, and then we already talked about Beau is Brave. We talked about that, I think. Beau is Afraid, not Beau is Brave. Which Beau is Afraid. I really do want to see that. I think the only thing holding me back from that, I think, is the runtime. Isn't it supposed to be like 3 hours, which is kind of crazy. I actually look at movies run times now, which is I know you shouldn't do that, but I just have so little time to watch movies now that if it's not an hour and 30 minutes, it's hard for me to commit to 3 hours for a movie. So
yeah. So
what's that?
I got to be right back. You know why I got to be right back again? Because I just got back, and now my mother is texting me, could you please take this out the oven? Like, fucking shit, fucker. I'll be right back. God, I wanted to ask you a question about something that was going to segue into like, but
God, tell your mother I said hi.
I'll be right back. Todd, keep entertaining him for like 2 seconds. So fucking annoying. Mom! Yeah.
Start the car.
Exactly. All right, I'll be right back again.
So what you been watching, Blocko? Anything good? I'll have to pull up my list real quick and see. Pull up Letterboxd. I watched a few things with the wife this week. We watched a documentary. We watched. Let's see. Oh, I watched Haunting of Julia for the first time. And that movie, was very interesting. I really liked that movie. It wasn't what I was expecting, but the film score in it is just amazing. It just fits the movie so well, and I really enjoyed it. I love the ending to that film. So, really solid movie. Watched that one. I watched. Let's see, Escape from Alcatraz. I rewatched that, which I enjoy. It's not my favorite Eastwood movie, but I do enjoy that movie. Let's see. The Glass House with so this is a made-for-TV movie I watched. It's from 1972. It's starring Alan Alda, which of course I'm a huge Alan Alda fan because I love MASH. So any movie with Alan Alda I want to see. And Vic Morrow, and it has to do with it's a prison movie, and it's solid. I mean, it's a good made-for-TV movie. I give him props. It was really entertaining, and I did like the characters. It's not as graphic as a lot of these prison movies, but for the time, I mean, it came out in the 70s, so for 1972, I would say it's pretty solid. So, yeah, I give that one a check too.
When the Hulkster comes to heaven, we'll tackle again.
Oh God, that is terrible. I love it though.
I introduced Todd to Hulkster in Heaven from the Hulk Hogan album from like 1992, I think. I had really shocked he had never heard of that. I'm like, you never seen this before?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's basically a meme at this point. I freaking love it, man. The comments, if you've never seen it, look it up on YouTube. The best comments in the world are on this song. I don't know. Everybody's in on the joke except for Hulk Hogan, apparently, because he's probably dead serious when he made it. He's like, your life was fulfilled in this short time because I graced it. I entered your life. He really makes it about himself. It's really funny. But anyway, what were you guys talking about? Fill me in. I had to go pull a lasagna out of the oven.
I was talking about movies I watched recently, and I watched that Haunting of Julia, which is really an interesting movie. I really enjoyed it.
Did you watch it after you bought it or before you bought it?
After. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but I've been wanting to see it for like 20 years. It's never been.
I really want to see it too. So, I'll find a way to watch that here soon as well because I'd like to talk about it. But, and Todd's never seen. It always reminded me of a movie kind of like, kind of like The Changeling, like a real slow burn. The Changeling's not filmed in Britain, but it kind of looks like it could have. It was probably filmed in Canada, is what I think. I think it actually takes place in Canada. I don't know, but he still hasn't seen that. But Blocko's asking, did you answer if we've seen Animal Factory? Of course we've seen Animal Factory.
Yeah.
That's one of the Eddie Furlong great movies. And it's not really it's a really good movie. I don't think it's an amazing movie. It kind of misses the mark of being a really good prison movie, but it's good. And for Eddie Furlong's repertoire, it's really great. And Willem Dafoe's great in it. Mickey Rourke has a great part as the transsexual prison bitch dude, but he's all jacked. Tom Arnold thumb rapes Eddie in the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
He's prepping his asshole to get rammed, and then Willem Dafoe saves him. He's like, sticks it up his ass, dude, to loosen it up, dude. It's fucking gross. Harrowing, man, harrowing. Ugh. And speaking of Eddie was I wish I would have had a bit more of a heads up, but I saw the night before on Instagram, Eddie Furlong and his buddy from what's it called? Detroit Rock City, the guy that was also in Cabin Fever. I can't think of his name right now, but they were both at a record store in the Valley here. And he's like, yeah, we're here all day today. We're going to be here all day tomorrow. Come see us. I'm like, oh. And it had to have been for record store day. Like a record store just paid them to come out to bring more traffic to their record shop. And yeah, I would have went and saw him and met him if Todd was here, but I'm not driving an hour across the city to meet a methed up Eddie. Nothing to say. You know what I mean?
It's like, so what was your favorite part of Brain Scan? I don't remember, dude.
I don't think it'd be a very good interaction. It would be a transaction because like, what is he gonna say? Because he doesn't look super engaged, the way he is. And yeah, you see him at these conventions, and people ask him. You have these hardcore fans at horror conventions talk about, that scene. I love Brain Scan, and he's like, which one was that again? Like literally, I've seen him do that. Like, I don't remember. She's talking. Somebody asked a question about the ending of Brain Scan. He's like, I don't remember the end. What happens? Like, which one is that? It's like God.
Yeah.
And I get it. This is just like 4, 5, 6 weeks of work for this actor at a time, and like they're done with it. And then they're like, maybe during that time he's doing a lot of work, so it's like, it's just like a brief memory for him. But I don't know. Like I have things I was involved with for 6 weeks at a time. Like if you went to summer camp for 6 weeks, don't you think you'd remember it? Like your whole life?
Well, I wasn't drugged out of my mind by that at camp either. So
And yeah, and getting statutory raped.
allegedly.
Oh, by his girlfriend? Come on, man.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. He got not by a guy. He got hooked up with an adult woman when he was a fucking kid. That was like someone working on set, and then like he was a kid dating, and then he got engaged to this adult woman, and no one gave a shit back then. And he was like, dude, she was grooming this she was grooming him ever since like Terminator 2. And then she got with him at like 13, and she was like 19 or 20 or 21. And then like he was a kid. He was like 16 years old, and he was with this 30-year-old. And, you know, I don't know if they actually got married, if they're just engaged, but they might have got married. But it's so funny. And they were talking, he was talking about it in interviews and stuff like that, how the times have changed. Nobody cared. Nobody talked about it. But like like I said, I have sympathy for Eddie, man. Like, you know, the system failed him. You know, society failed him. His parent, he had, I think his uncle was serving as his guardian. You know, his parental figures failed him, who just, you know, probably just milked him for money. Everything failed him. And of course he became a statistic. He, you know, got onto the drugs, and he was taken advantage of, and whatever. But
do you think he got to meet Metallica back when he did that music video?
I don't know if he actually, I don't think he would have met them, like, because he was not actually in scenes with them, you know. I'm sure he looked like he was total second unit stuff. But yeah, I like that video because he loves Metallica. He's like, yeah, I was like, oh, I got to do a Metallica video. I was like, you got to do a Metallica video for their shittiest album.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Like, and did you even get to meet the band? Thoughts?
I don't remember.
No, and that's what I would have asked him actually, is if I saw him, because if I drove all the way across the city, because now that I live in a big city and we have stuff like this coming at me all the fucking time, you actually see less of it because you're like, it's not as special anymore.
Yeah.
Like if Eddie Furlong was doing a signing at a comic book store in Springfield, Missouri, that'd be a big deal. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see Eddie Furlong. Now it's like, what else you got? Yeah, but what else you got? But if Todd was here, that would have been fun. Like it was so random. Like I said, he should have I don't know how much heads up he had, but I wish he would have let people know. But I found it the night before, and I'm like, yeah, it's Saturday, it's record store day, but what a drag, man. I work full time. I don't really want to drive out there.
I would have asked him what it was like working with Corey Feldman and the Zombie King.
He's like, I never fucking saw him. Like that one scene he has at the end, that was his stand-in, like Eddie's back of his head, like when he's talking to, you know, they just do that thing. Yeah, I think it was, who knows, man, but he'll do anything for work, and I feel for him. He seems like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, he seems like he's clean now.
Yeah,
but
he's looking better a little bit.
It's just the damage has been done. I know he got his teeth fixed, so hopefully he just needs to get in shape. He needs to really turn shit around, get in shape. But I just feel if I went to that record store, it'd be very transactional. Like, what do you ask him? Because like you said, I could ask him about a movie I loved. He'd be like, I don't know, man. What? I see how he talks in these interviews. He's very like, pay me. You got $10? You know, I see how he is. I saw Pecker. Pecker's okay. I'm not a big John Waters guy.
I'm not either.
Yeah, and I know Zach loves John Waters, but
his movies have no rewatch for me.
Pecker is John Waters light, but it's just okay. Did you ever see that one? Gosh, what is it called that he did with Jeff Bridges? It was like right after T2. I think it was his first movie after T2. Why can't I think of it? I'm gonna look it up. Jeff Bridges, Eddie Furlong. He doesn't even come. It's Eddie Murphy comes up first. Hold on. Okay, it was American Heart. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
So I watched that in the past year. Oh yeah, Blocko, American Heart. Thanks. Yeah, and that was a real capable movie. It was good. It wasn't great, but you know, Bridges was awesome in it. It was a good drama about a dad that got out of prison, and Eddie Furlong is his estranged son that basically is forcing himself into his life. You know, like he doesn't want him. Like, and Eddie Furlong's fantastic in it. Like he was, like you said, it's right after T2, so he still kind of has that baby face. He's pretty young, and man, the kid had a future. He was a natural. He really was. So,
oh, absolutely.
It's too bad. But yeah, what am I gonna say? Hey, I liked you in American Heart. You peaked at fucking 10. What am I supposed to tell him?
You can tell his friend that he liked him in American Pie in that one scene where he's like, "Yeah."
What?
Remember his friend that was in Detroit Rock City was also in American Pie.
Was he? Which one?
He's the one that is just sitting in the room or whatever when they're watching the webcam of that girl that strips.
Which American Pie person is it?
The first one.
No, which friend in Detroit Rock City? Is it Giuseppe Andrews?
The one that you saw in the picture.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, Denise.
That's Eva.
Oh, hi, Eva. Sorry, I can't see her.
That's fucking disturbing as shit. He called you Denise.
I couldn't see it from here.
Why am I in trouble? I'm gonna go see what this is about. This is a fucking record of me having to fucking step away, man. Good lord, man.
Is my camera looking slow to you?
No, it looks fine. I'm a professional, damn it. Be right back.
What do you think, Blocko? Is my internet clipping out? Does it look kind of funky? Here, I'm gonna turn my cam off and turn it back on. Is that better? Man, I just feel like my internet's lagging. Let's see. Man, it says looks good. Okay. So maybe just my internet is lagging a little bit. It's kind of weird. Yeah, so what else have I been watching? God. There's a few movies. I started watching one last night, but then my kids woke up and I couldn't. It was the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which I haven't seen in a while, since a long time ago. And that was but I got cut off, so I'll talk about it when I finish it.
But hey guys, so full disclosure, I'm not editing this shit episode because I've had to step away 3 times. Usually I would edit stuff like that out.
Don't edit.
I'm just gonna let it fly, man, because I'm not gonna edit all this out. It's like 3 times now I've gotten pulled away, and it was so funny because she said you're in trouble. I'm like, oh god, I better see what this is about. Like,
was it called her Denise?
No, but I was like, what did I do? What did you find a crunchy sock somewhere? And I was kidding. No, what did I do? Dude, I heard a funny. I thought that because it made me think of. There's that Snapchat AI thing. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
You see that? Did you see what Mac posted?
I haven't seen what he posted.
Mac was posting questions. He was asking the AI Snapchat, and he told Snapchat, tell me a dirty joke. Okay, and it says what? And it said, hold on. Why did the sperm cross the road? And it was because I put on the wrong socks this morning. That's what the AI came up with, dude.
That's funny, dude.
And I'm like, it was damn funny, and that's also damn scary, because it's like it has to. Those jokes have to come from somewhere. So somebody wrote that joke, and it's just pulling it out of whatever. But I don't know, man. You're never gonna know where jokes originated anymore with AI and stuff. And what if you have this whole thing now where what about authenticity of like comedians and writing? Because it's like you could literally get Chat GPT or Snapchat to fucking give you ideas for jokes and story if you just ask it. And what if like people start cherry picking that stuff and they have no idea where all that stuff originated? And it's just going to be like, it's nuts, man.
Yeah, my dad got that chat for a month. I think he paid for it for a month, and I was using it the other day when he came into town, and it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it gives you like freaking stories and paragraphs to everything, so it's interesting.
But like I said, even that's coming from sources. It's
Yeah.
coming from other people's writing and stuff like that, and it's using all of that to form its own answers. And but
Well,
it's
it's going to put us
crazy.
all out of work here in the next 5 to 10 years.
It's really scary, man. People make fun of the people that think Skynet and all that shit. People that I talk about technology. I don't know, man. Technology's super scary. Like if an AI can take everything it knows and just totally scrape the internet for writing and jokes and voices and all kinds of stuff, and it can formulate conscious answers to give you, why couldn't a computer like take that same sort of intellect and activate some bad buttons or fucking turn on you, or right, or like it knows how to, it could chat GPT could probably teach you how to disassemble a gun and a firearm, put it back together, how to fire it, what ammo goes with. It could tell me how to operate a firearm. Like if you put that sort of like AI in a robot, which that stuff exists. If you see some of the shit they're cooking up in like Korea and shit like that, there's crazy robots, man. Why couldn't a robot like take a gun and shoot somebody and go a little haywire, right? Because I mean, I think ultimately people would love to. You would think we'd want to replace, if we're gonna do the robot thing. You think we'd want to like replace our military with it? Like, why don't we just have robots fight? Send our robots to war.
This is cool. This is an AI generated commercial that I saw on Twitter.
Is this more Will Smith eating spaghetti? Oh no. Pepperoni hug spot, dude. Oh, was his arm on fire? What the hell was that?
Yeah.
That's funny. But so is it getting clips of other stuff and splicing together, or is it putting faces? Look at that.
Those are AI I don't know. It just probably learned it.
Pepperoni hug spot, dude. That's absolutely insane. Yeah, Blocko, deepfakes are scary, man. And deepfakes were just the start of it, but that technology came like a long way in just a million, just so fast, in just a year or two. Like that stuff's gotten really good. And we already have problems with infringing on people's rights, right? It started with a deepfake thing, and that was all kind of funny, haha. But you have all these people that are getting mad because people are using their likeness to make porn videos, right?
Yeah.
And I could see why that would piss, if that was me. Like, I don't want, if somebody like was sharing around a deepfake video of me fucking Todd, whatever. That's kind of disgusting. But when it's other people, you just kind of laugh at it. I get it, but I could see why it's messed up. But it's like, I think this sort of technology and all this stuff they're doing is so new. There's no laws and stuff in place for all this stuff. And there has to be something that comes into play. And the same thing's going to happen with ChatGPT, because now they're going to use AI to write video games. They've already started, right? Mm-hmm. To do NPCs and all the menial jobs and menial dialogue and stuff. What are they going to do? I mean, like now it's like once you get hired into all these companies, I'm sure like if you get hired from like a game studio, I'm sure it's just like baked into the contracts now. Like, hey, you accept this job, we're any takes that we get from you, we can use it for future work. It can go into our AI and so you can't sue us. And that's just gonna be part of it, unfortunately, with everything. And I'm sure, like I said, I think I've talked about this, but we're gonna see it already feels like Marvel's doing AI generated scripts.
Yeah,
it really does. Like their movies feel like AI. It's
like, I'm sure they are.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you talk AI, do a Marvel movie. It's such a weird formula. It's such a strict formula now that the joke that Max showed me was pretty damn good. Right? Yeah. The cum sock was pretty funny. I would have all the faith in the world that AI could make a Marvel movie that's not among the worst Marvel movies. It could maybe it won't be, but I bet you it would be serviceable, and I bet you people wouldn't even notice. Mm-hmm. So it's really scary, but yeah, some kind of legislation has to come into play because this technology is moving too fast now, and it's going to get way out of control. So legislation has to step up, something has to happen, and something has to be put into place to protect jobs, right? There's just got to be something. But
it's going to get crazy. Do you want to start showing stuff?
Yeah, really quick. I'll control this. Let me know whenever if you do exit out of your third screen, don't just click out of it. Make sure you push the video rot square so it goes back to our ratio here. Because so we don't have to. That's okay. Let's go ahead and start. Go ahead and show Blocko. Get your first one queued up. AI has a very disturbing hell-like surreal perception. It's very uncanny valley shit. That's what I'm thinking. It reminds me of the short film called Try, Smashing Pumpkins. Used scenes from it in their music video, Try, Try, Try. Yeah, it's weird. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen even in the next 10 years and like where we're going to be and stuff. But so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about flicks that we grew to like. Full disclosure, I have one thing I can talk about. That's it. Because this is very hard. So I'm going to like try and siphon Todd's energy here because he has a lot, and we'll build a discourse around that. Because for me, if I can say, it's kind of backwards because if I liked a movie when I was young, I just love it more now, even if it is shit. Usually, it's like I love it more. And if I didn't like a movie back then, I mean, I probably didn't go back and give it too much of a chance. I only have one. Can I bring it up? I'll just tell you real quick. The only thing I can kind of think of, it's funny, is when I was a little kid, the Rocky movies didn't interest me because they felt like dad movies, grandpa movies, and they were on all the time. And I'm like, there's like a million of these damn things. And for some reason, back in the early days, I didn't take Stallone seriously like I did Schwarzenegger. To me, like Schwarzenegger was the guy. And I'm talking like when I was a kid. You know, just none of his movies hit like Schwarzenegger movies. And then somewhere along the way, I got older. It really clicked for me. But then it's funny because the original Rocky is my all-time favorite movie now. So I guess that's the only thing I can really think of. I'm hoping Todd will maybe jumpstart my memory with stuff he talks about.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. A lot of these I've actually talked about over the past 12 years or however long we've been doing podcasting. Mine are pretty much horror. So these are horror movies that I watched when I was a kid.
Todd likes horror movies. It's a horror movie.
Not saying I hated some of them I didn't like, but not saying I hated these movies. I just didn't care for them at the time.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've just I've become really fond of them. Either they're one of my favorites, top 10 favorites, or they're just a good one I really like.
Well, that's cool. See, the first you're already making my brain cook. Now I've already kind of got more in my head, but keep going. I want because maybe this stuff will be on yours, but I'll interject because I've already got ideas.
The first one you've been championing forever, and I haven't. I wasn't a fan of it when I was a kid, just because I like the original one that much better. Because it doesn't take place just in a hospital. So this is one I've really grown an appreciation for, and of course it's Halloween 2.
Oh yeah.
So this is one. Because you've always said this is probably your favorite one. I've always liked the first one, but over the years, like I can see why you love this movie so much because it's fantastic.
It's okay. So this is this is what I was hoping you were gonna do. So now I have something to add because I get it. Halloween 2 and Halloween 1. It's a perfect example of okay. I can acknowledge the original one is the better movie and it deserves like a higher place because it's the original and it is, but the second one's more comfort food. I acknowledge the whole, I don't know how I feel. Like I acknowledge that the first movie would have been great as a standalone. And I get why they cut it off there and they rebooted it from the first one. I like the idea of just the boogeyman having no motive and just coming back to town to wreak havoc and just being the Shape. I love that. I love that probably more. But at the same time, like it never bothered me in part 2 growing up that Michael was Laurie's brother and they went with that angle.
No, like, it didn't bother me at all either.
Because it was ingrained in my DNA from a little kid. And I just kind of like for example, I would watch the first one as a little kid and I just assumed 2 was canon. Like, oh, that's her sister.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really put that together that no, that wasn't the intention. These are 2 separate things. And so yeah, I acknowledge the first one's better in a lot of ways, but the second one's awesome. I think it's just comfort food. I love that they were just keeping up with the Joneses, right? Because Halloween was a huge hit. Friday the 13th came out ripping off Halloween. Then Halloween, because Halloween took a sabbatical. It was gone for a few years, and Friday the 13th had come out and been successful. And they're like, well, we got to keep up with this. So Halloween 2 was basically like Friday the 13th, where it's like, well, okay, all that other artsy fartsy shit that we did in the first one. No, we have to have a body count in this one, and we have to have unique kills, just like Friday the 13th. So we have to, when you got the scalpel kill, you got the syringe kill, you got the hot tub kill. That's very Jason, where it's like everything, it's all about the kind of kills that are in the movie, and they're all bigger and better and more gorier. And also, what else do we have? We got more TNA. More tits, man. More. It's just very like that, dude. That hot tub scene is very Jason. It is
It's
such
awesome.
a Jason.
It's an awesome.
But it's awesome, and she had a rack, dude. So it's just comfort food, and I know some people say it's boring, and I get it. It's slow, but I love the hospital atmosphere. I also get that. What kind of hospital is this? All the light, they didn't pay the power bill, and it's dead. Only person in here is a couple of like skeleton crew staff and Lori. You know, it's like, where is everybody? It's like Michael's stalking the hospital and Lori's like creeping around, but where's all the other patients? It is funny, but I think it just makes the movie creepier, even if it doesn't make sense.
And I think it's the best mask too. Best
Michael Myers and mask. It's just the first mask, but it was in storage for a handful of years. And
with the blood tears is the coolest fucking thing ever, I think.
Yeah, I have no problem. Like, obviously, they have rights issues with the first one. That's why you see the second movie so much more licensed out, right? Tots put out the Halloween 2 mask, even though to them it's probably the same damn mask, but they label it Halloween 2 because that's the rights they can secure. When you buy all the NECA stuff, it's Halloween 2 stuff. But I'm cool with that. Like, give me the bloody head, give me the scalpel. I love it, dude. I love his like, give me the Ben Tramer stuff. By the way, it's got I get it. It's outrageous. When he gets smacked by the cop going 120 miles. Dude, there's a cop going 120 miles an hour down a nighttime, dimly lit road on Halloween night where lots of kids are going to be around, you'd think. And he just flies and he smashes Ben Tramer into the car. And I love it. This cop gets out of the car. I just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, what? Who came out of nowhere? You or him? And then, like, I love it. And then Pleasance doesn't give a shit. He's like, it's not him. Let me get that. It's like, nobody. And Ben Tramer's just fucking burned into a crisp, dude. It's so outrageous, that scene. I love it.
No, that's solid. I'm glad.
Oh, and then really quick, Blocko. That's a great idea. And that I can attest to that. He says Halloween 3 was jarring as a kid, and he appreciates it now. I don't know that I ever hated Halloween 3, but
I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw it when you were a kid?
When I was a kid. No, not when I was a kid.
Yeah, we got it. My dad we picked it up on VHS as a kid, and obviously when we saw this, I had seen 1, 2, and 4, and 5 already. So when we finally saw 3, it was jarring. I don't know if I ever hated it. I didn't think I ever, but I was like, yeah, I don't know what to think about this, and maybe I wasn't as partial to it. But yeah, as time, that's a great example of a movie that just grew its own legs over the years. But I've liked that movie for so long now, I couldn't even tell you when I didn't like it. But I do know that was one of those types of flicks for sure. But
you want me to jump in the next one?
Go ahead. Like I said, I don't have any more, so I'm just gonna kind of bounce and piggyback off your stuff.
Well, we kind of mentioned it a little bit ago, but this one kind of ties in to the sequel as well. Mm-hmm. And this could be my between this one and Friday 13th Part 2 and the first one.
I thought you said you don't like that one as much. Like
I don't like Part 3 as much.
Oh.
Part 2 is awesome. Part 2 and Part 1 I love them both, so I can't really say which one I prefer more, because I think they're both awesome and they're the best of the franchise in my opinion, both 1 and 2.
If I'm not wrong on this, I think Part 2 is hilarious because Part 2 has I think it's got the shortest running time as it is. Plus, it's like that's not including that they have all the intro credits and title cards and stuff. You know, if a movie's really long, a trick they'll do to shorten that runtime is have the credits playing while the movie's playing. Like, they'll get the movie started and you'll see the credits, but then a trick to pad your movie is to not show any movie while you get the title cards. Just have like title cards going with no movie, and you get an easy like 2-3 minutes there. And then it's like, it's already short as it is. Then you have the title cards that don't add anything, but then they recap the first one, the entire last end of the first movie. By the time you cut all that out and the end credits out, the recaps out, I feel like the movie's like 40 minutes long. It's hilarious, but I really like 2.
And I didn't like it that much as a kid. Of course, I mean, Jason doesn't have his mask until Part 3, so
yeah. But I like that. I like the potato sack. I like that potato sack mask. That's great. And he was hitting them gains, man. He got fat and chubby and big in the third movie because he was like lean in the second one. Ali P the Goddess, I grew to love Halloween 6 because of superior producer's cut.
Yeah, a lot of people
I know a lot of people like that, but I just think they're both bad. I think both cuts are bad. It's like choose your poison. I don't It's not for me, man.
I think it's fine. I mean, I don't have any issues with producer's cut.
I don't like the Michael Myers in part 6 because he slouches. Like, I just want to tell him to like posture, man. He's like, his shoulders are like hunched over, and he's like, his back is leaning, little belly. It's like, dude, straighten up. But I don't know. It's not for me. But yeah, Friday 13th part 2, I think is kind of a standout. Plus, you get like the mother shrine and stuff, which is iconic, you know, in the head and stuff. That's great.
Another one that I used to talk about quite a bit, not liking, probably like 10, 15 years ago, and I didn't like it as a kid. But now I enjoy it. I wouldn't say I love it, like some of the other titles that I'm going to show, but I enjoy this one now, and of course it's Fright Night.
Wow, you were saying you didn't like that movie as late as last year.
Yeah.
Like when did you make the turn? You bought it on 4K even though you hated it?
I never said I hated it. I said I haven't seen it in a long time, which I do enjoy it, but I don't love it as much as a lot of people.
So. I think that movie is pure fun.
But I used to hate it as a kid, probably because I was a huge Lost Boys fan.
So you hated it, and now you just kind of like think it's okay. You still don't.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think it's solid.
That's good. I think it's a great movie. I think it's really fun. I think the cast is amazing. I love Chris Sarandon. Everybody in it's really cool. All likable characters.
Yeah, Chris Sarandon's awesome.
Chris Sarandon's awesome. He's a treasure. I wish he had a bigger career today and stuff like that. He's on the con circuit. But I would love to meet him at a convention. I think he's fantastic. Fun fact, he was obviously married to Susan Sarandon back in the day. That's where the name is. And she actually divorced him but kept his name. For just Marquis, because it sounded better.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
So yeah, that's my next one. I have one here that I don't know if you've seen this one recently, but I saw this as a kid and I thought it was long and kind of boring. But I really enjoy it now. So it is a slow burn, and it's very long. But Salem's Lot.
See, I remember seeing that when I was a little kid. I like watching that like Saturday night feature movies. Like back when I was watching like the It miniseries and stuff, I caught that. It's been so long since I've seen that though. I have a cheap DVD copy of it or Blu-ray copy of it. I need to finally watch that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I really enjoy it. I still haven't seen the sequel, Return to Salem's Lot, but yeah, when I was a kid, I did not like this movie at all. It's 183 minutes. I thought it was long and boring. Now I really like it. So it is a slow burn, not for everybody, but I do appreciate it a lot more now.
Yeah, I like some of those miniseries, those TV things. You know, they're like I said, I have a soft spot for the It one. I'm waiting for Todd to show his next one, which is going to be Children of the Living Dead, right?
No, this will be one I didn't appreciate when I was a kid, but this is probably one of the best slashers ever made.
Oh, okay.
My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
This movie's awesome, man. If somebody hasn't seen the original one, this is probably one of the best slashers out there, I think.
And you only have a few because I think the slasher genre has more garbage than good stuff.
Like it has a lot of garbage, but a lot of it's fun.
I don't even like a lot of the ones that people love. Like I don't like why can't I think of it? Sorority House Massacre. What's the font? The Driller Killer. The Driller. What's the what is it called? Why can't I think of it? Slumber
Party Massacre. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. It doesn't do anything for me.
Oh, those are fun.
They're just low rent Friday 13th. I don't know. But I love, Sleepaway Camp does it better. They kind of harpoon it and lampoon it a lot better. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Chopping Mall, which is technically, I guess, kind of a slasher.
It's a good movie.
I watched Phantom of the Mall though, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, that's fun, dude.
Which was filmed in the same mall as Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
And I watched Phantom of the Mall, and I'm like, I was expecting to hate it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I surprisingly don't hate it. Like, it's not great, but like
I thought it was fun, dude.
I thought it was gonna be like a 2 out of 10, man. I had already like written this review up, ready to go,
really
ready to push edge. Oh, I'm like, this is gonna be shit. I just knew it. But then I watched it. I'm like, you know what? This is maybe a 6 out of 10. Even if it was a 5 out of 10, that's pretty good because I thought it was gonna be real bad. Pauly Shore was fun, you know, and they had that dude from Silk Stockings back in the day. But yeah, Slumber Party Massacre, have all the TNA you want. Yeah, I know. I just didn't do a whole lot for me, Geezer Forever. Shot in Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia. Yeah, My Bloody Valentine. Hell yeah. Did you see the remake?
My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Yeah,
Is that any good?
it was all right. I mean,
Yeah.
not as good as the original, but it was okay for what
I
I
have one.
remember.
I have one I'd like to bring up since it's
Yeah, go
kind of
ahead.
jogging. I could pretty much say any Italian horror movie because we actually were talking about this not that long ago, but in particular, I wouldn't say I love House by the Cemetery, but I definitely appreciate House by the Cemetery more. And I think that like I still stand by that. If you've never watched any Italian horror movies or really much of any foreign movies and like you're younger, kind of getting into that stuff, House by a Cemetery is not the one you start with. I just don't think that's the one you start with. I
Start
think
with Fulci Zombie.
yeah, but I also think you start with Argento stuff. I think Argento stuff has better dubbing. It's less jarring. The dubbing is so bad in House by the Cemetery. It is. It's fucking terrible. It's atrocious.
I'd rather have dub than subtitle. I like dub.
I just think the dubbing is so bad that I was so aghast, and that was my impression. I'm like, oh, they must all be like this. So I started with that one, and it kind of kept me scared of that shit for a long time. But as I, watch more and more and more and more of those things, I'm like, oh no, it gets so much better. Especially, like I said, especially the Argento stuff like Profondo Rosso and Suspiria. They have great dubs. Like you get lost in it. It doesn't bother you. It kind of adds to the feel of it. But I rewatched House by the Cemetery with Joe Bob. I think it was last year, and now that I went back after being more versed in the stuff around it, I'm like, okay, I can appreciate this now, and the story makes no fucking sense. The movie itself makes no fucking sense, but the whole last act and the doctor in the basement, creepy as shit, dude. I think it was pretty effective.
Yeah, it's not my favorite Fulci movie.
No,
I do enjoy it.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, go ahead and hit us with your
next one. Not a huge fan of this director, but this one I wasn't a fan of really when I was a kid. I thought there was cool scenes in it, but as I gotten older, I really dig it now. It's American Werewolf in London.
Oh, that's a fantastic movie. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's a great example of, a great movie doesn't always mean like a flawless director because, Landau is not.
Landis,
sorry, not Martin Landau. Jonathan Landis, he's not. I mean, like, because he was doing Blues Brothers and he was doing Animal House, and he did this movie, which is kind of a satire, a comedy too. But it works. I think this is his crowning achievement. It's so great, and I love Griffin Dunne. I think Griffin Dunne is a guy that was kind of an almost leading man, and he just missed the mark. I mean, he starred in Scorsese's After Hours, which is getting a 4K release on Criterion, and it just to me, it's like, why did this guy become bigger than what he was? And he never quite hit that level, even though they tried to make him a leading guy, and then now he just kind of is a support guy. But After Hours is fantastic too. But I love that movie. It's awesome. Everybody has talked on and on and on about the effects and how great they are, and I can't say enough good things about it. I think it's fantastic, and I love it too because I'm somebody that's traveled and been like in the hostels and been a backpacker and did all the shit. So I love seeing the idea of like travelers and
Oh yeah, it looks awesome. Europe.
Yeah, it's like I can kind of relate. Like I've had those moments where I've been like, oh, this kind of looks like London, and I've been like on a shady ass street in London before. I've seen some shady ass people. It's cool. I dig it a lot. John Landis, never forget, he had a kid killed. Yes, best film.
My next one was one I didn't see when it first came out because it was so hyped, and it drove me nuts. It was everywhere. Everybody thought it was the greatest thing. So I was like, I'll hold off a few years because I don't want to go into it with like high expectations. So I saw this film and I really loved it, man. It scared the shit out of me. I think it's still effective. One of the best found footage movies, and of course, is Blair Witch.
I don't know how I don't have like a passionate toward love affair with it, but I saw it when it came out for rent. I think you know what? I don't even know if we rented it. I think my dad might have just bought it on VHS. Because we never went to the movies. Like my dad he would check it out, and if there was something like Hearsay and shit like that, he would just maybe go buy it. Like a movie like that had a lot of buzz. But I remember we watching it, or you know what? Maybe we got it on like a pay per view. Remember where you'd get a movie on pay per view that was like the
Mm-hmm.
on demand, and it would just be playing all day long,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you'd still have to catch the new start time, but it would just be playing for 24 hours on a loop. We did a lot of that stuff, but I liked it. I liked it. I don't think I've watched it since then, to be honest with you. I don't think I've seen it since it came out. But
Yeah, and it's still probably one of my favorite found footage movies between this and, of course, Campbell Holocaust. But
no, but
no,
it's
they're both
very
great.
good. It was effective, you know. Yeah. What else you got?
Next one. So this one, I don't say I hated it as a kid. I just saw it so many times on television where I became numb to it. So I didn't realize how good it was until kind of later.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's Carrie.
Yeah, I could agree because I don't know what it was about Carrie, but it didn't have like kid appeal for me. I don't know what it was about Carrie, but it kind of felt like I was on like TBS all the time. It was like on
Yep.
TNT,
Yep.
TBS, and just I didn't find it like scary at the time or anything, and I still don't. But it just seemed maybe it was like the John Travolta and shit in it. I don't know what it was, but I was. It just reminded me. It was too mainstream. I didn't feel like it felt like a horror movie. It felt
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually, I think when I was a kid, I liked the Rage Carrie 2 better.
Oh, really?
With Jason London or Jeremy London or whatever, whichever one is in that, But
Yeah, I don't remember
no,
that one.
and I've seen Carrie so many times. I don't know when the last time I watched it, but I've been itching to kind of rewatch it because
I watched it a couple of years ago and I thought it was awesome. So I don't know what I was thinking.
I want to rewatch it with adult eyes. I mean, because I think when I was a kid, like I had no idea. I had
what
no
a good
idea
movie was.
Well, I had no idea who Brian De Palma was. Right? It's like
yeah.
it's like it's Carrie. I wasn't thinking about the directors necessarily. But then as I get older, it's like okay, I know all of Brian De Palma's movies, and I like most of his movies. Like maybe I should rewatch this now with adult eyes, and now that I know Brian De Palma's work, and maybe I could appreciate it a bit more. But I do want to watch it. Riverman, Geezer Forever, Geezer Doctor Forever, Cloverfield. Yeah, Cloverfield. You saying do you like Blair Witch over Cloverfield?
Oh yeah. I like Cloverfield, but I'm not in love with it. I like Blair Witch better.
I liked the sequel with John Goodman, the Cloverfield.
Yeah, that was good too. Yeah,
and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That's the one I liked.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. Yeah, I really want to rewatch Carrie. So
okay, my last two are actually ones that I wasn't a fan of when I was a kid, and they're now in my top 10 favorite horror films of all time. So
okay.
First one, Tobe Hooper masterpiece, The Funhouse.
Oh, I love that the first time I saw it.
I didn't like it when I was a kid. I thought it was kind of boring.
I didn't see it when I was a little kid though, so maybe that should be fair. I think I saw this kind of late. I think I was like 19.
Yeah.
18,
and
19.
It is it is a creepy. I didn't really think about it when I was a kid. The whole carny folk and everything like that.
It's really good.
It's awesome, man. I've grown to love this movie so much, and it would be in my top 10.
It's super fun. I don't know why, but I guess it's a carnival. It's not Halloween, but to me it feels like a very Halloweeny movie. Something to watch during the season. I really like it. I haven't watched it. I don't know. I don't know if I know I have the Blu-ray. I don't know if I have the 4K or not, but Funhouse is awesome. And I know a lot of times when I talk about Hooper, I never forget about Funhouse, but I do in context of talking about Hooper because I'll be like, "Well, he's got like a couple good, like oh, he's got Funhouse too," and it'll always be like an afterthought, but not to be confused with Clown House. Yeah, totally different director, totally different.
No Clown House. Yeah, the thing I loved about Funhouse and this next movie is just the freaking atmosphere, man. The atmosphere makes the movie, makes it scary, and of course, the fog. I mean, between the Funhouse and the fog, they're just so thick with atmosphere. It just makes the movie scary. No, absolutely, pun intended.
Well, I don't think I ever disliked the fog either.
I did. I mean, I thought it was boring when I was a kid too, but I love it.
I think the fog is an awesome sort of ghost tale. I think it's fantastic. When we were talking about, you were moving a little fast for me because I was gonna, when you were talking about Hooper, it was, I don't know why it was reminding me of. I guess it does kind of connect because Rob Zombie is obviously a huge Hooper fan and Texas Chainsaw, but it made me think about House of a Thousand Corpses. I still don't love that movie. Like, it's not like an A for me, but I like it, you know. And I remember the first time I saw House of a Thousand Corpses, I rented it because they, you know, obviously that movie was in like fucking developmental hell for the longest time, you know, at Universal, and then it got picked up by what, Lionsgate, and then it finally got made. It was just such a long time coming, and then of course I had to rent it, and I didn't know what the hell I was watching. I'm like, I did not like it at all. I'm like, that fucking sucked. I really hated it. You know, this came out on VHS when I was probably 16.
That's crazy. I saw it in the
16,
theaters. I thought it was amazing. Yeah, but I don't know. Everybody else hated it, but I loved it, which is weird.
Yeah, I had just never seen anything. I mean, even me, I acknowledged easily, like, okay, this is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, he's literally hitting a lot of the same beats, and he was really wearing his influence on us. I think I was knocking him for that at the time, but even then, it's like, now I realize, wow, it literally just kind of looks like one of Rob Zombie's music videos he directed. It literally, I was watching a White Zombie video. It was just so fucking bizarre and out there. I didn't even feel like I was watching a movie. But you know, I definitely came around a bit on that one. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I have anything before we wrap up that topic up, because I know there's got to be stuff, because hopefully the Evil Dead remake is going to be one of those movies, because I still haven't watched my 4K of it. Because I'm dying to watch it. I just,
God, there's got to be some. I mean, because there's so many movies I hated as a kid that I love now, which is weird. Yeah. But
there's got to be, like, and it doesn't even have to be when I was a kid, man. Like, I mean, I wasn't a kid with House of a Thousand Corpses. Like I said, I always want to like Evil Dead more the few times I've watched it since I saw it in the theaters, and it's really hard to get a real good chance to watch a movie like this I've been trying to watch, because that's not something I can watch with anybody else. Like, Eva will not watch that, you know. So it's like I got to watch certain things with her, and if I could break away in my own time and watch a movie like that, I'll do it. And I have a room that I go into and I watch this stuff with the door closed, because I don't even like listening to this in my loft, watching this, because she doesn't want to hear that fucking crazy shit going on in the bedroom. She doesn't want to hear it from outside. So I lock myself away, and but you know, I only get like maybe a couple hours a night. Sometimes I gotta do other shit, so I will watch it. What else though? I know there's got to be other stuff. I wish I could say that I didn't like the Sammy Kerr Trick or Treat, but that'd be a lie. I always fucking love that movie. It's coming to 4K, and I'm so excited.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome! Yeah.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I wish I could say that one, but I loved it from the start. I'm really excited. I can't wait for that pre-order to go up. But gosh, man, I know there's more. I don't have them on me right now, though. It's just such a daunting thing to think about. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at all these movies. I wish I could see my movies better from here.
I want to probably say movies I didn't like. I wasn't a huge fan of Child's Play 2 when I was younger.
You're insane.
I liked the first one and the third one the best.
Oh, the third one is the weakest, dude.
I know, but when I was a kid, I liked the.
You liked that made for USA TV movie version
of
Chucky.
I did. That's what I feel. The third or second was my least favorite. I think it's overrated, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. I saw it a million times growing up, but Jaws, I always thought that was overrated. So,
well, but you love it now?
No, I never said I loved it. It's just what it is.
I thought that was the topic.
Well, I was trying to think of other movies I didn't enjoy.
You know, I'm trying to think. Pretty much the usual directors. I'm trying to think like. I don't know if. I'm trying to think if I saw a lot of Cronenberg or Lynch growing up and what I thought about those. But I don't imagine I would have liked those very much as little kids.
No, and like you were saying, the Italian stuff. I wasn't a huge fan of Zombie when I first saw it as a kid either, but I had the VHS, which I bought. It was that Anchor Bay, like the clamshell plastic snapper case. The first time I saw Zombie, of course, I was thinking it was going to be Dawn of the Dead, but it wasn't. Completely different zombies. And I wasn't a huge fan, but then I just kept watching it and watching it and watching it. And I love it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get an idea. I'm trying to look at the movies that I have in this room. and I'm trying to like comb through them, and it'll just be so much easier talking about it the other way around because I'm looking at all these movies like, if anything, I like these movies less now. Like some of them, right? And they're like, I'm trying to see.
Clive Barker, Geezer said Wes
Oh,
Craven.
Well, the Clive Barker is for another conversation, just because he only directed a couple of movies, right? And I think I wanted and always wanted to like Nightbreed, but I never did. Right? It's just terminally okay. And I own it, but it's just yeah, same thing with like Lord of Illusions.
Oh, I like Lord of Illusions.
I like Lord of Illusions. I actually like Lord of Illusions more than I do Nightbreed. But
yeah, I do too.
They both kind of hit a mark to a degree. They miss a mark to a degree. And but yeah, it's not like I loved Nightbreed, and I'm just now realizing that it's kind of dull. I never thought it was always a disappointment. But like that falls under a category of movies that I want to love, so I own it because I just I like the story, I like the aesthetic, I like everything about it. It just misses it for me. Same thing with Blade Runner. I own Blade Runner because I want to love Blade Runner. I want to love it and even if I can just appreciate something new about it every time I give it a chance, that's fine with me because on paper I should love Blade Runner. I should love it. But obviously the movie had a million different fucking cuts and they couldn't decide what they wanted to fucking do with it. And it was pretty much created in the editing room, which that's
crazy, man. I thought that movie was great.
Blade Runner?
Yeah, first Blade Runner.
I want to love it. I love the story. I like the neo noir. I love that type of setting. I like the
I can see the same thing about Clockwork Orange for me.
Clockwork Orange, that was a tough one the first time I saw it. Definitely appreciate that one more. But dude, that's a good one because that's a good example of a movie that's like, what the fuck? And I still don't rank it high on my Kubrick list at all.
No, either.
I just think that's one that demands some rewatching. But yeah, I don't know. I think Blade Runner, everything about that movie should be a 10 out of 10. And I think I blame it on just the editing room shit that they had. Like I said, the movie's got like a million cuts.
What about like Rambo 2?
Rambo 2, I mean, Rambo 2's all right. I've just never it's backwards because people usually don't like Rambo 3. It's like usually people like
Rambo 3 isn't bad, but 2 is better, I think.
That's what most people think. I don't know. They're just kind of where they're at for me. I mean, I like to me the highlights are 1 and 4. As time went on, the more I hate 6. God, I really just don't.
Oh, the Last Blood.
5. Yeah, it's just like I thought it was at a certain place when I first saw it, but then like immediately on the second viewing of that movie, I'm like, diminished returns on this one.
It's not the worst thing.
It's not the best at all. It's not even near.
No,
it's not even. It's mid as fuck. It's got good things about it. It's kind of like yeah, I mean, you know what? It's like Saint Anger. You might think Saint Anger sucks, but I could take a song on Saint Anger and I could say, well, I like this riff. I think this could have been something. I like this part, but a good part or a good lick doesn't make a good song. That's Rambo Last Blood for me. Yeah, I like the violence, but it really doesn't mean anything. Like the movie, it's one of those movies that's just totally disposable. Like what does this movie mean? Means absolutely nothing. And to me it's worse because it followed up 4, because 4 was just so good at what it was trying to do, and it was the perfect bookend, so that also kind of hurts it.
What about Land of the Dead?
No, that's a movie that's like Evil Dead the remake, where I always want to go back to it and revisit it. And it just like there's something there. Like I always have like some kind of weird fond memory, like, you know what, like I remember liking this, and I remember liking this aspect and this, and then I go watch it, like, yeah, something's just not clicking for me.
Yeah.
It's like I like all the ingredients for the soup.
Yeah.
And you think it's gonna make a good soup because I like the fucking onions and I like the carrots and I like the potatoes I put in it.
But it's split pea soup. Yeah.
But for some reason I get split pea. Like how did that happen? I was making mushroom soup and I got a split pea. So sometimes you just can't understand or explain the chemistry. There was another one here. one I think could be a contender. I have to go back and
So,
revisit it. It's a movie I never liked, and maybe I have to rewatch it anyway for our Craven. I have to watch Hills Have Eyes again.
yeah, I could see that because I like that movie now. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't a huge fan of it as a kid. That's a great one.
No, and we even tried watching that as in high school, and that wasn't the first time I'd seen it. And it was, but we fell asleep. We literally fell asleep watching Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I think this is something we could extract more from with a little bit more thought. This one's so hard without having actual discourse and talking about it. It was really hard for me to sit there and take notes and think about this one. But Todd's right. There's got to be a million things. You know what's so funny is I could probably go on and on and on this topic when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Because that's easy. I could tell you about I'm not going to do that on this show, but I could tell you about so many artists and stuff like that I just did not like when I was a kid. Or maybe they were like previous generation, like my mom or dad's music that I was a kid. I'm like, what is this? And then I fucking love it now.
Why don't we do that for not next week, but the week after? Or
that's
split them up, or we can do it next week.
That's a definite topic because there's so many. There's just tons and tons, and yeah, there's tons of music that because the thing is it was either from overexposure from like your parents listening to something that you didn't like it, but then later on you kind of like that nostalgia attachment, you kind of like grew to miss it and like it and associate your childhood with it. But then there's also just the element of back in the day, I would blind buy stuff. I would go to the store and I would just buy a record because I read about this band in a magazine. I heard this name breathed about in an article, or I liked the cover or something, and I would buy it. And there's plenty of occasions where I bought something because it looked cool, and I'm like, whoa, this is not clicking for me, and this is shit. And sometimes that stayed that way, but a lot of times, like I really grew to love some of that stuff. It just took a long time. Like even if I put it away the first couple of years and then I like came back to it, yeah, there's tons of that I could talk about. So we'll figure out the order of this stuff, but it doesn't matter to me. It's fun to chat about this. I just wish I had more flicks. I could. I'm gonna try and look on your I'm gonna look on your wall. Is there anything on your wall that could like spark anything? I'm literally trying to, because I feel like like Day of the Dead. I still have the same sentiments about Day of the Dead.
I've always loved that.
I like Day of the Dead. I just think it's pales compared to Dawn of the Dead for me, so I think that kind of hurts it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like I said, I think about all these movies I grew up with, like the Nightmare series and the Chucky series and the Halloween series. And if anything, I hate some of those movies as I got older. Because when I was a kid, give me any Michael Myers. I would watch 4 and 5. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
But like now, I'm like, dude, get 4, 5, and 6 out of my face. All of them. I know people like 4. I don't even like 4. Like you guys are just.
I like 4. I enjoy it.
My thing is, I think people like 4 as much as they do because it sits nestled next to 5, and 5 is really bad. That's what I think. But no, I think 5 makes 4 look good, but if you remove 5, I just don't think 4 is great. But same thing, like I would watch anything and everything Freddy. Faster than a locomotive, faster than 100 bastard of 100 mania. Super Freddy. I'll watch that and I would eat that shit up. Like, oh man, he's cutting that guy up like a comic strip. That's so cool and innovative. But now it's like, what was I thinking?
Nah, Freddy versus Jason sucked back then. It sucks now.
But that's just Freddy vs. Jason came out when we were adults.
Yeah, I guess it did, didn't it?
Yeah, 2000.
Okay.
2004. I'm just saying, so like, yeah, if anything, it's the adverse. It's the other way around. There's plenty of stuff I could go on and harp about stuff I don't like as much. So anyway, we won't spoil too much of that. We will go ahead and wrap it up. And if you guys have any last questions or anything you want to bring up, so Geezer, Dr. Forever, the Final Destination movies, Scream, grew up loving 1, 2, 3, but now they're up to 6 and 7 and they suck ass. I think I like. I think when I was a kid, I was really all about Scream 1 and 2. Like I really liked them. Like I was on the train. I thought it was so cool. I rented Scream 1 when it came out on VHS. And that was really cool. Really fond memories because it came out in 96. I think it hit video rentals in 97. dude, when we came, I remember going to the video store and we found that, and I brought it home and I watched it on my like little TV about this big, my little like 13-inch or 10-inch whatever TV in my little bedroom, and I would literally sit like in like a not a bean bag, but kind of like one of those like floor chairs, that's kind of like squishy, and I just, I just. It might have been even one of those like VCR combos, like little TVs, like Emerson. Yeah. I ate that shit up, man. Which, by the way, those VHS VCR combos, very dangerous to watch those with rented movies because those things
eat
that rental tape, dude. Like I was playing Russian roulette and I didn't even realize it with rental movies.
Even new tapes. I remember spending $30 on a new tape and then eating the new tape, dude. And I was wrecked for like, oh man.
It's so fun. Speaking about VHS, it's so funny to think about those days. I never understood the concept of not deterioration, but like the more VHS is copied, right, the worse it gets, and the worse. I never thought about that. I used to watch just recorded off TV, recorded off other stuff. The more you record over shit,
it's like fuzzier than hell. Yeah. Oh,
it would get worse and worse and worse and worse the more you did that. And I never really thought about that. I'm like, I would watch probably Home Alone every year on the worst fucking oldest tape that had been re-recorded over 1,000,000 times, and it never bothered me. But like, it'd be funny to watch that stuff now, like
with the commercials. I would want those in there too, because a lot of those commercials bring back.
That's one of my favorite YouTube rabbit holes, is to just watch commercials from the eras. I love it. I think you could find some Joe Bob stuff out there with the commercials intact, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But I like just watching commercials of the 90s. I'll go on I'll go down that hole and I'll just watch toy commercials from the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and I'll just watch these like 3-4 hour collages of that. And I'll go to sleep watching those, dude. I love it. I'll watch, like, people post, they'll post like commercials from like a particular day in a year, from like a Saturday morning cartoon block on ABC, and just watch it as it was. I'm like, that's so cool, man. Seeing like the Burger Kids Club, Burger King Kids Club, and those old Pizza Hut commercials, where there was always like the coach taking the little league team out for pizza after the game. All that kind of stuff. I love it, man. Makes me all nostalgia and stuff. But anyway, you know what? That's also another mental note. I think we should talk about commercials sometime. I think we should talk about favorite commercials. And not only can we talk about commercials, I think we could actually show them. We could probably react to commercials.
Okay.
You don't think we could react to some commercials, old YouTube commercials?
I don't know. Maybe, probably. We could try it.
I don't see why we couldn't. I think we should do that. So, and I don't even care if we get demonetized. We get demonetized. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm super tempted to do that. Oh fuck. I don't know, man. You sure you wouldn't want to do that? That'd be fun to watch commercials on here, man.
What, next week?
Yeah, we don't have to.
We can do that next week. Yeah, let's do that next week. Then the week after, we'll do the.
So the week after. That'll give me more time to stew on that one anyway.
Yeah.
But this week, think about some of the classic commercials you loved growing up. Just go down the YouTube rabbit hole, and you'll probably see some that you forgot all about. And we'll pick them, and we'll see if we can find the individual videos. We'll make sure we're ready and have that queued up, and we'll watch it. We'll watch our favorite commercials growing up. I mean, we could probably do 10 each. Because I got a million, dude.
I already know one of my favorites. So yeah.
Hi kids, I'm home early. There's so many.
Won't spoil any of them, man.
Oh, we're gonna watch. There's so many though, dude. Anyway, so that'll be fun. I'm actually really, really excited about that one. So that'll be next week. We'll do our each one of us will have our top 10 favorite commercials of our lifetime. So late 80s, all through the 90s. It's all open season. So we'll check you guys out next week. Remember, if you guys are not familiar with us, please do us a favor and you liked it, like the video, leave a comment, help us out with the interaction and all that stuff. That helps it to where we don't have to do stupid thumbnails. Right? Help us out. Yeah. What was Todd's? He do it again. There you go. So it's absolutely cringe, but yeah, and we do stream these every week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Otherwise, they're going to go up the following Tuesday. We've got, what do we have out? I know any day now we're gonna have Zach and myself and Mac. We did the Three Ninjas kickback commentary. It constantly gets blocked and taken down every time Zach makes an edit because he goes really all out with his edits now. Like his videos are really cool now. Now he puts in like movie footage and stuff like that. And he does, and they're a lot of fun. They're great, but they take so long because he'll make an edit. It'll get he has to upload it, render it, and then it'll get blocked, and he has to go back and then change it. I've watched this podcast get blocked 12 times now.
Jeez.
So it just takes a while to get this stuff out there, but we have the Whale Cinema Enema coming out, the Brendan Fraser joint. That turned out really good. We got a lot of stuff. So, but yeah.
Go to the Instagram page.
I was going to create a video. Make a home.
Yeah.
What?
I created a Video Rot Instagram page, and
yeah, we got a Video Rot Instagram page. Check out Revival House, of course, on Instagram. All that good stuff. But yeah, that's we're not going to bore you to death. We'll catch you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and yeah, check out our Metallica tier list from last week. Fools.
Make a home here.
Make a home here. Bye.